Two walls stop most people from using printable planners. One is printing front and back so everything lines up. Two is knowing where and how much to trim. Neither of these is actually complicated once you understand the process. Today I'm going through each step with you because a planner that fits your life starts with pages that actually fit your planner. I'm using classic size to demonstrate, but this works for any size planner for which you print one page per sheet. We'll work our way through setting up an Acrobat Reader, move to printing, and on to trimming, every step explained. I've been designing, printing, and using my own planner pages for over 40 years. This is the same process I use when I print my own planners. Let's start in Adobe Acrobat Reader, the free version. Most printable planner pages come as PDFs, and using Acrobat Reader rather than opening the files in a browser window gives you the most consistent results. For this demonstration, I'm using one of my classic size planner files, but the printing and trimming process I'm showing applies to any file designed to be printed one page per sheet. I will change to the dark display theme so that it's easier to see the pages against the application background. I also like to turn on two-page view and show cover page. This will show how the pages would appear in your planner or binder. It starts with a right-hand page and then pairs of left and right pages that make up the planner spreads. You can see that this file has a wider binding margin on the inside of the spreads and narrow top, bottom, and outside margins. Let's move to the print dialog. Here in the print preview, we can see whether it is centered before we print. We can see that this file is formatted as 7 inches by 9.2 inches. That's 9 1/4, but rounded down due to the way the value is displayed here. And the paper we are using is 8 1/2 by 11. Each planner page is centered on the sheet. Most printable planner files are designed this way if they are intended to be printed two-sided. And a file that is centered, such as this, can be printed two-sided on any size paper that is the size of the planner page or larger. So this file can easily be printed on pre-trimmed classic size paper. But today I'm using 8 1/2 by 11 inch letter size paper. Now I covered printer capabilities and manual two-sided printing in the previous video, so I'm not going to rehash all of that here. I'll link it in the description in case you need that. For page sizing and handling, choose actual size. Your file was designed for your planner size, so we don't want Acrobat scaling anything. And keep the orientation on auto. If you force portrait or landscape, Acrobat will shift the page and it will break the front to back alignment. We could print the entire planner, but let's just print January. To determine what pages to print, you can either review the thumbnails and locate the starting odd-numbered page and the ending even-numbered page, because for two-sided printing, you always start with an odd-numbered or right-hand page and end with an even or left-hand page. Or check to see if the file includes bookmarks. I add them to my planners and include the range of pages to print for that entire month. So for January, it's pages 9 through 22. So let's go back to the print dialog and print just those pages. Now that we've printed our pages and confirmed they're centered on both sides, let's move to the part everyone worries about, trimming. To figure out how much to trim, we must compare the paper size to the planner size. We printed our classic page on letter paper, so we have 7 inches by 9 1/4 inches and 8 1/2 inches by 11 inches. For the amount to trim from each side, our paper width was 8 1/2 inches, and we subtract the 7-inch width of the planner page, and then we divide that difference by 2. So we trim 3/4 of an inch from each side. For the amount to trim from the top and the bottom, our paper height was 11 inches, and we subtract the 9 1/4 height of the planner page, and then divide that difference by 2. So we trim 7/8 of an inch from the top and the bottom. Now I have a full trimmer tips video and a cheat sheet that walks through this, so I'll link those below in case you need that. I'm going to use my Fiskars SureCut trimmer today, and I've marked our final measurements of 7 inches and 9 1/4 inches with washi tape. I'll start by trimming 3/4 of an inch off one side, and then I'll trim 7/8 of an inch off the bottom. Then I'm going to turn the page around and I'm going to trim the width to 7 inches and then the height to 9¼ inches. And now I have a perfectly printed and trimmed page to add to my planner. Now, that was the centered version with 4 cuts. Sometimes your file won't be centered on the page. If it wasn't designed well or it came without printing and trimming instructions, you're left guessing, and guessing leads to frustration. But a properly designed file will still print aligned front to back. You just need to know how to read the layout and where to cut. Let me show you a file that is not centered but still prints perfectly. This is a version of the same planner we just printed and trimmed. I create 2 versions of the same planner to support 2 different printing methods. The centered version is designed for people who want to print directly onto classic size paper. It can also be printed on any other paper that is larger than classic and then trimmed. But most of us print on letter-sized paper, so this version is designed just for printing on letter-sized paper. Because of the way it is positioned on the sheet, only 2 trims are needed instead of 4. It will not look centered in Print Preview, but that's intentional. The layout is designed to make the finished pages easier to trim. It takes extra preparation when I create the files, but it saves work when you're preparing the pages. I'll print the month of February. Here's the pages, and as you can see, they're printed with the front and the back aligned. And this is the trim guide I provide with the instructions, and all that is needed is to trim the width to 7 inches and the height to 9¼ and they are ready to punch and add to my planner. So before you print, check how the page is arranged in Acrobat Print Preview. Is it centered on the page? Then after printing, use the finished size measurements and your paper size to determine where and how much to trim. Those 2 checks will help you create clean, consistent planner pages from any file designed for 1 page per sheet. In the next video in the series, we'll look at printing 2 planner pages per sheet for A5 and half letter sizes. If this was helpful, please subscribe for the rest of the series. I'll include links in the description for the earlier videos in the series in case you missed them. If you have any questions or have something you'd like to see covered in this series, leave a comment so I can provide some answers. Links to my shop and the specific planners used in this demonstration will also be in the description.